Happy Halloween, everybody. Appreciate y'all coming out today and covering these Rice Owls. Obviously, coming off a disappointing loss on Saturday versus Charlotte. My hat's off to their staff and their players for coming together and playing the way they did. I thought they played their butts off. And unfortunately, the game didn't go the way we planned. I thought we got out-coached. I thought we got outplayed and out-physicaled, which are things we never want to be a part of. But told our team, we've got to stick together and we've got to move forward. And one of the bonuses of a Thursday night game is you ain't got time to sulk. So we were back to meetings and back to practice last night. And the time for licking your wounds is behind. It's in the rearview mirror as we move forward. So this week's an opportunity to turn the page, starting with those meetings that I talked about in practice last night. And we know we got a short week, getting ready for a good UTEP team coming in here. And we'll be celebrating Dia de los Buos, Day of the Owl, and celebrating our Hispanic culture as well in the greater city of Houston, as well as on Rice's campus. So that's a cool thing to have going as well on Thursday. I have all the faith in the world. This team will respond and respond in a way that we can be proud of. They're dealing with the adversity the right way and trying to find a way to go 1-0 this week. And they know that we have all of our goals that we talked about at the beginning of the season, not only still ahead of us, but in our control. And so that's really cool when you have everything right there that we put on a board to start the year. So it's not like you're saying, hey, let's play for pride. We got a lot of things going right now. And we got to remember that. And we got to fall back on the things that put us in the position of being 4-4 and giving us a chance to go forward and earn the things that we want to. And talk about those small V's and those small victories and remember the accomplishments we made, because that's how we're going to push through this adversity and get back in the winning column. So that's what we're working through. This game will be a battle. I don't have any doubt about that. I know how Dana coaches. I know the toughness that he instills in his team, and I expect it to be a very, very physical game like they always are between these two teams. So that'll be the deal. You look at them on offense, they're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to play action pass. And then on defense, I think their defense coordinator, Coach Bradley Dale Pivoto, does a great job. I think he's got some unbelievable experiences when you look back at his resume and see who he's worked under. And there's really parts of different coordinators that you see in the system he's compiled. And it's a lot to deal with, and especially on a short week. But you look at it and you see the Mike Elko stuff that's going to line up in field under, and it's going to look the same from a shell standpoint. And then the ball turns over and somebody blitzes and a safety replaces him in the box. And there's all those things. You see those components. But then you see multiple ways for them to align to the same formations. And so there's not really anything advantageous. And what I charged our coordinators with is, guys, we've got a short week. We've got one true day of practice. So it's got to be a best of week. We've got to go to the things that we've done well in training camp and since, and we've got to incorporate those things and make sure our kids can play fast and have all the answers they need for this test that will be played on Thursday. Back to Coach Del Pivoto. Bradley Del Pivoto, I just think a lot of times we go in as offensive coaches and we say, hey, this formation, they're going to align this way. And it's almost never the same way. So the information that you'd gain by formations and some of the games you may want to play, they're just different this week. So what I've charged our coaching staff with is never run the same formation twice. If we run the same personnel group, that's fine. That's going to happen during the course of the game, but we're not going to be in the same formation. Everything's got to have a different motion, a different shift. So things that are very, very easy for us and hopefully difficult for them. So just put a lot of dressing on things and see how they can deal with the different formations and shifts and motions and on their short week. So I want to put the pressure on them and make it easy for our team. Defensively, we're really doing our stuff. We're doing our core, going to simplify things as much as we can. And we understand that this game is going to be about blocking and tackling. It's going to be about being the most physical team. It's going to be about imposing our will. And that's our charge as a football team. But with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
What have you noticed response from the guys in a short time trying to turn it around?
Kids are so resilient. It's not that they're not hurting. It's just that when you've got to go to med check at 10 a.m. yesterday, and then you've got to do a lift at 3:30, and then you've got dinner at 5:15, then you got meetings. Nobody had time. As coaches, I think I told you after the game, we started watching the film after we got done with recruits at 6 p.m. We put the Charlotte game largely to bed. And then we came in, we started at 8 a.m. and put the plan together all day yesterday. So coaches really didn't have time to breathe, sleep, or pout. And that's probably a good thing, because that was not our best performance, as you know.
You said on Saturday after you had time with the film, you kind of have a better clue of what exactly didn't go right against Charlotte. Did you kind of come away with takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, there were some things like there's nobody that participated in that game from a coaching or a player standpoint that doesn't have something they wish they could change in that game, including me. Like I had a call that I made on 4th down that I wish I could take back. I wish I would have given us a different look, a different play on a critical 4th down call in the game. You know, I talked to Tui. I said, hey, we're going to run against this look. Didn't give us that look. We thought it was still good enough to run, and it didn't work out. So that falls on me, right? And I hate anytime I do something that hurts the team. But the performance on defense, like they scored touchdowns on 7 straight drives. Like I didn't think, I mean, that I don't know if all of our conference games combined, we'd given up 7 touchdowns on the year. So it's one of those things where, you know, hey, we've got to go back to the drawing board. We got to look at why this happened. We got to talk about the technique and what should have happened and what should have transpired. And we got to fix it. And that's really hard on a short week. That's our charge. Like we were talking last night in this walkthrough, everything has to be detailed. Your first step, your eye placement, your hand placement, everything. You got to make it as game-like as possible, including like get your pads down, understand where we play this game at. Like those are simple things, harder to do in a short week. And that's why in the walkthrough, we had to make these guys understand they got to be professionals. They got to be professionals when it comes to taking care of their bodies this week. We're going to do a great job for them. Our only practice really is this week, is today, you know, and last night was a Monday and a Tuesday combined in a walkthrough format. So we're taking care of them, but they can't get away from those details if we want to fix this. Now, I also wanted them to flush the game after we learned from those lessons, because I don't want that to be instilled in their minds any longer than it has to be. We talked about burning that thing, burning that memory, and making sure we put out the flame of every ember so we can move forward.
And then so far through game 8, haven't had any of your players recognized on any player of the week lists. Obviously, you're not playing for whatever we have to say about the team, but does that kind of stick in you as a missed opportunity or something that you think you have players talented enough to change?
I don't know that I can change people's opinions if they don't vote for Luke McCaffrey in the La Tech game. I'm gonna worry about the things I can do, and we're gonna put a great product out there. And if we have guys that have unbelievable games, as I understand it, you vote on that committee, right? You should talk to your people, your peeps. I'm gonna keep coaching this team and trying to win games.
How big this game coming up? Only 2 games left at home. Obviously, you said everything you want to still get in front of you. How important is it to come out of the gates hot and to not give the chance for that Charlotte?
Yeah, I mean, like Matt, like I talk to you every week. Like I want to start fast. I want to stay focused. I want to finish strong. I want to get 3 phases of our team, all 3 phases, to play good for 60 minutes, and we have not gotten that done this year. You know, and that's a lofty goal. There's a lot of teams that go through seasons without getting that done. But we're very capable of putting that thing together. And when we do, I think we're going to be a very good football team. So how important is starting fast? Well, you could argue that we started fast on Saturday. We scored touchdowns on our first 2 drives, you know, and we just got to get settled in. And we made them punt on one. So, hey, there's good things. We started fast in Boca, and we didn't find a way to finish strong. So you got to do all those things. It's not one or the other. Like we have to do our jobs. Like offense's job is to score every time they get the ball. Defense's job is to never let them score. And the closer we can get to those 2 goals, the better off we'll be as a football team.
Schematically, this is a team that isn't going to try and throw it 70 times a game. They want to grind it out. We just kind of fit better. You get a break from the guys who are going to try and toss it over the yard.
Yeah, but I do think like they're going to watch the film and they have to try. They have to try our corners, you know, and we've got to do things schematically to give them some help. So it's not always on an island. And we've got a great plan for that. You know, I mean, there's two starters on defense that we've missed a little bit, and George Nyakwa and Myron Morrison. And, you know, it's a next man up world. And it's the world we live in. But to say we didn't miss them in the last 2 games defensively would be crazy as you watch the film. We missed their performance. They're starters for a reason.
Talk about the bonus of playing Thursday, you have less time to think about the loss. Talk about the advantage you have also where you're at home on the Thursday game.
Yeah, I do think that's an advantage. I really do. I think back to how our team felt after walkthrough last night, and I told them, I was like, hey, in the somebody's always got it worse than you category. Like UTEP got done playing at 11:30 on Saturday night, and they had to do something yesterday. A lot of our guys aspire to play in the National Football League, where they could have been in the third quarter of their game when we got off the field last night, and they'd have to play on Thursday on 3 days. So like, yeah, it's a tough challenge for everybody. And you're right, UTEP got done at 11:30, and now they got to travel to not tomorrow, but Wednesday. And it's not an easy operation getting to or from El Paso. So yeah, it's absolutely an advantage to be home.
November football season.
Randy Hart played at Ohio State, and he coached under Earl Bruce and at Washington under Dodd James. And something he said to me that always stuck is you'll always remember what happens in November. And it's because if you've earned the right to put yourself in position, those games mean everything. They mean going to a bowl. They mean winning and playing for a conference championship. And so when you can earn the right to get to November with everything, every one of your goals intact, it's pretty fun. Did you see him throwing out in the yard? Is that why you asked? Oh, okay. He was throwing as Nate came up in the circle, and Nate and I walked in together. So he's throwing a full-size football now, and he's making progress. And I don't know if he's ready to throw the thing 50 yards yet, but he's making good progress. And at this point, I think the gains that he's had in the last week would make us believe that maybe it's not too far away from him practicing football. I think so. Yeah, he's never been ruled out. Nobody's ever told me he was out. This has been had to get through the pain part and get some things healed. And then now he started off throwing a dog toy. I should have brought my Shorkey out there for him, but and now he's throwing a football. So those are good steps.
There's another some games you gotta throw away, about, when you look back at this one and kind of think about how close you are when you want to be in the scheme of things, you kind of talked about that earlier. We ask you this every week, how close are you based on what happened Saturday? Can you get there a little quicker based on that?
Yeah, because of my experiences, I can go back to this. Like I thought Saturday was a terrible performance by our football team. It doesn't stop me from believing in how good our football team is. And I don't think our football team has stopped believing. I don't think any of our coaches have stopped believing in how good they are. But I'll never forget this. Like you'd have to check me on the record, but I believe we were like 9-2, and it was the game of the week. We were going to Foxborough to play the Patriots on a Thursday night. And man, we performed terribly. And we go to the team meeting the next day. And this is November in New York. And so there's probably 6 inches of snow. And I made the mistake of wearing flip-flops to the meeting. And he walked in, he goes, "Hey, stand up, everybody outside." And we all walk outside in the snow in my flip-flops. And he has a shovel, and he digs into the ground, and he buries the football. And he goes, "This is a football from the game that I never want to see again. I never want to see us perform that way. It's gone." And you know what? We ended up having a heck of a season and making it to the AFC Championship game again. So cool little wreck story. And that's what we're doing. We're burying it. We burned it. It's gone.
Talk about their offense. It seems like a lot of the key principles coming back for UTEP.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's physical. It is going to look a lot like a 9-on-7 drill many times, or an 11-on-11 inside run period. And they do a really good job. They got offensive linemen that rage off the ball. They got a fullback in number 31 that I feel like has been at UTEP for generations. And you know what? The quarterback is playing good football. So it's not completely a one-dimensional show. I don't mean to say it like that, but they're going to come out of the gates trying to move you and trying to impose their will. And then they're going to hit play action passes behind you. I don't expect them to line up and empty every snap. I think that would be very anti-Dana Dimmel.
He's got in there sort of settled down too.
Yes, sir.
But he's got in there settled down. I think he's helping to develop that team.
Yeah, I think you see a lot of him as you watch that. I remember speaking at some NFL offensive line clinics with him in Cincinnati. He was at Kansas State when I was at Stanford. And so we'd pass each other in similar circles, and just the toughness he always instilled into the run game, no matter where he was. I always had great respect for him. We'd talk some X's and O's on the road at times. So, but yeah, I definitely think you see Dana's fingerprint all throughout that program in their toughness and their physicality.
Got Seth Patterson sitting over there, no crutches, no scooter.
About time.
How excited does that make you? And do you think you get him back, and how much of a big of a boost that they need your team?
Well, it's a boost in several ways because in addition to his play, like Ced's a leader of this team. And so having him back on the field today is going to be awesome. And he can talk to you about some of the things he's done and come up with motivation wise for this team that has become kind of a rallying cry and become something that we put on t-shirts because we thought it was so good. But just having him back on the field for his on the field leadership as well as his on the field play is going to be really exciting. You notice he's the number 2 X on your depth chart this week. So excited to see him catch some balls in practice today.
Anything else, Coach? Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a great Halloween.
Everyone, come on up here. This is the opening statement, just emotions and finally having a chance to get on the field.
Oh yeah, it's been like what 2.5, 3 months since I've been able to be on the football field. So just having the opportunity to practice today is huge for me. Huge to be with the guys again because it's different when you're in the locker room compared with when you're on the field practicing and like being in that environment. So I'm really excited to be back and be able to catch the footballs.
How do you try to keep active and stay in shape, obviously, to get ready for getting back out there?
Well, one thing Coach Bloom says is you can't really get into football shape without playing football. So there's going to be that piece missing. But for the most part, over the past couple of months, I've been, doing some bike workouts, treadmill workouts, being on the jug, catching balls every day, doing my best to try to stay in shape. But I'm excited to get back into football shape.
How tough is the mental aspect of it, getting so close up to preseason camp and then having to go through rehab and stuff?
Yeah, so it's pretty tough. There's a lot of questions of like why and a lot of doubt, but just keeping your eyes on prize. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, knowing that if I did work hard, I would be able to have this opportunity to practice again during the year. So just that and my family and my people around me are able to keep me going, keep me focused. And being around the guys obviously helped a lot too.
And you saw flashes last year, but the offense is kind of putting into another gear and taking another step. Does it kind of feel like you're rejoining even some new faces on the field? You're in a new offense that you're coming back to?
I wouldn't say necessarily new offense. I would say we have, same plan in place. I would say I'm excited because we're doing some new things with the offense, different personnel that we had last year. So I'm excited to be part of that and see where I fit in.
Football is universal. University, I think kids not playing football, so you still kids are.
Mhm.
So if you find yourself in some plays, what you get out of it.
Absolutely.
See,
What's it been like seeing Ross and Lou having a good season? You kind of turned into Coach Patterson.
Oh, they've been playing great. Not even much I can say at this point. Like they're doing almost everything right. Only thing I can say is good job, keep going, keep doing what you do. But yeah, there's a lot of talks we have in the receiving room, just like control what you can control. And they've been doing a good job at doing that. They've been catching the ball, tackling the ball well, running great routes, and just doing what we need as an offense and kind of one of the big sparks that we have for the offense so far this year. Really proud of those guys for how they work so far and how they keep going and going. So I'm excited to be out there with them so we can celebrate together on the field and on the sideline.
talk about having to recover.
Yeah, so it was kind of a long process in my mind, at least, but it just starts with your community. One thing that we always say is it takes a village, whether it's the coaches, the players. I felt a lot of love throughout the process as well. They were texting me, calling me, and at first I didn't expect it. Thought it was going to be like a one-time thing after surgery, but throughout the weeks, I got a lot of texts, a lot of calls from them, and that helped cheer me up too at first. My parents, my family, my girlfriend, people all around me, my friends supporting me, coming over, being able to watch the game together, and then just being up here and